Hi everybody. Some sad news again. I don't know if you can see there, but there's another dead panda, and it's happened again since the first video. This is the fourth fish. I don't know what's going on, I'll be honest. My my water parameters have been fine. I've had these guys for like a month. They've been breeding like mad, hence all the babies in the tank. I'm at a loss. I don't know if it's weak genetics. I did get some of them as adults, so I don't know how old they are, but I don't know what's going on. So I'll pull it out and we can have a quick look to see if we can see any signs of something more sinister. So unfortunately, I have just found one of the babies dead. Again, I don't know what's going on. We have a look at the big guy first. Oh, they are pointy. That's a bit of duckweed there. So belly isn't swollen. I don't think it looks particularly concave. I've been feeding them with bloodworms and tubifex worms and pellets pretty much daily. So yeah, I'm not sure what could be causing it. That redness there, that is just a camera thing. I'm looking at it with my eyes instead of the camera. I don't know why it's picking up like that. I don't know if it's the lighting, but it's not like that on this side on the camera. The barbels seem okay. Nothing protruding from the sort of anal area. The fins seem to be in order. Little guy's gonna be harder to pick up. But yeah, he's not looking so good either. So I'll do a quick water change. I don't have time to check parameters as I'm about to head to work. So you gotta do what you gotta do. So just very quickly before I head off, water change is done. We'll see what happens. I don't know why they're dying, and maybe it's a genetic thing. I don't know. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I'd like to resolve this as soon as possible. Cheers. Hey, it is about 6:30 in the morning here. I woke up at about 10 minutes to 5, thinking about these fish. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed, but happy being obsessed. But I can't stop thinking about what's causing the die off, because I love these guys and it makes me really sad that this is happening. It's I said in a previous video, like the Great Massacre, it's never nice when an animal dies under your care, you know. A lot of people don't get it. Like, what, they're fish, they're cheap as chips, even if they're not that cheap anymore, but that's not necessarily a bad thing anyway. They go, oh, they're just fish, why don't you just get a new one? And it's like, that's not the point. You know, I might not have names for all of these guys. You know, that's Larry in there somewhere. But I care about them nonetheless. And, you know, they aren't just, I mean, they're decorative pets. They're ornamental pets because they just kind of stay in one place. But that doesn't mean that I don't care about them. And it does. It causes a little pang of grief in here. Um, so yeah, I've been I've been thinking about what could potentially be happening, and I do have to clean the glass. I was thinking I was going to be getting an algae eater, like a hellstream loach. I'm very excited about that prospect, but because they keep dying, I'm worried about them having something that I've not recognised and then potentially passing it on to a fish that I acquire. Um, which is usually the opposite case. You'd normally worry about putting fish in the tank, hence, you have a little quarantine set up. Um, oh, sorry, I'm actually having to like hold my phone up with my arm, and my my front facing camera doesn't zoom out, so this is what you get, and I have to hold the phone a bit far away, and yeah, it's a bit tiring on the arms. Anyway, the point of this was, what's killing the fish? So I've been mulling it over in my mind, mulling it over, milling it over, mulling it, um, and I don't know. There are a few potential reasons. If we look up at the top of the tank, it's covered in floaters. I do pull them out every so often. I'll like purge them so that there's just about a quarter as much remaining. So I thought maybe they're not able to come up to the surface for air because Corydoras will come up to the surface to have a breath of air. It's not quite known, like the biology of that isn't quite known, because as far as we know, they don't have like bettas and gouramis do. They don't have labyrinth organs, like kind of a pseudo lung, if you like. It seems to be that they just kind of hold the air in their stomachs or something, and then sometimes they do fart it out. It's quite funny to watch. But I wonder if the duckweed is preventing them from surfacing for air. But then I was watching them this morning because they're quite active at dawn. So the lights kind of turned on, and they very slowly ramp up. So it was quite dim this morning to simulate dawn, and they were going up to the surface fine. Oxygen as well. I have a sponge filter at the back there. I don't know if you can see it. My camera cut out for some reason. I don't know what that was about, but I was saying there's a sponge filter in the tank. Right there behind that rock. And it's causing a lot of bubbles to come to the surface and break up that duckweed. And it's also helping to aerate the water, so oxygen shouldn't be an issue. My filter outlet up there, it might look a little bit confusing for those who don't know about this tank. I have a canister filter underneath, and then you might think, hang on, how come the hoses don't come down from the top? Well, this is a Fluval Roma 240, and it's specifically designed for this canister filter in mind. You can cap it off, you don't have to use the canister filter, but I'd never had one before, so I thought, yeah, why not? So it comes up from the bottom rather than having to hang down from the top, which I think is quite nice. It does mean that you can't really customize where you want it to be, so you're kind of stuck with it on this side, but I don't mind that at all. So anyway, these outlets, these outlets here, they are pointing as downwards as they can, so that we get as much water flow through the bottom of the tank to scoop up any ammonia that might be sitting at the bottom. And it also helps um, to you know circulate the aerated water from the tank. So I've got a beef canister filter. I've got a sponge filter. Filtration shouldn't be a problem. Airflow shouldn't be a problem. Temperature? Potentially, maybe. Because they do like cooler water, but I'm trying to have a bit of a tropical setup. But by all accounts, they should be okay in kind of 24, 25-degree water. It's kind of leaning more towards 24, I think. But it's definitely somewhere between 24 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius. Um, that's like sort of mid 70s Fahrenheit, I think. Um, yeah, I think 25 Celsius is 77 Fahrenheit, based off of the last video I did. Um, so, eh, it could potentially be an issue, but it shouldn't be, because there are a lot of people who have um, like cooler water species of Corydoras in tropical tanks, and they're fine. Um, so I can lower the temperature by like a degree or two, potentially, but it will very much limit the species that I can keep in here, and I want to keep nanofish in here. Peaceful community tank like Chili rasboras and celestial pearl danios. I think that'll be amazing, having so many fish in in a huge tank comparatively. Um, the other thing I was thinking of could be diseases, like internal stuff. But I've had these guys, well, I've had them for about a month probably now, and they've been fine. Um, I got 5 of them as adults. I got 9 of them as juveniles, and then 7 of them died, and 2 remained. Um, so that's been 7 in there for a month, and then they were breeding, and now we've got quite a lot. I did add in 4 more, because the shop thankfully agreed to make things right. I do thumbs up to them, after most of the fish died off. And you kind of accept when you buy fish that some of them will inevitably perish sometimes. It's a sad part of this hobby. And Corydoras are kind of more prone to stress. But because I've had them for that length of time, I don't see any external parasites. I don't see signs of internal parasites. Um, uh, don't know. I don't think that they have life-threatening parasites in them. A lot of fish, they kind of come with flukes of some description. It's a very common thing to have parasites. Like, it is what it is. Most of them go completely under the radar. People don't know that their fish have parasites. They live a long and healthy life. Um, it's just one of those things. But yeah, I don't think that that's killing these fish. Um, Another thing that I've been looking at is um, potentially poor genetics. Um, the Panda Corydoras, I didn't know this, but they're really popular. They are. They're super duper popular, and it might be because of the name. Um, pandas, oh, so cute, so fluffy, and eating bamboo and all that jazz. Um, and these guys are. They're absolutely adorable. Look at them over there. Look at them. Who wouldn't love them? But because they're very popular, they seem to be suffering the same fate as the dwarf gourami, where they are so popular that poor breeding has occurred. Um, and these fish, unfortunately, can be quite inbred. And, it's like guppies, it's like a lot of your pedigree dogs, It is something that happens with domestication. It's not fantastic. Um, I don't I don't condone those practices. Um, you know, but it is what it is. Inbreeding doesn't have to be bad. Like with cheetahs, a lot of people don't know there was a bottleneck event like 10,000 years ago or something. It, there were around 8 individuals left in the wild, and they all kind of made babies with each other because what else could they do? And those babies had babies with each other, and so on and so forth. Cheetahs are so genetically identical that they can accept skin grafts from one another without without sort of immunosuppressant drugs to prevent rejection. They are so genetically similar. Um, so inbreeding isn't bad if there are no bad genes present or deleterious genes present to crop up and bite you in the ass later. But cheetahs are very lucky in that regard because the weaker ones died out. It does make them more susceptible to environmental swings, like climate change. Um, so that's not great. But anyway, so these fish are typically a bit more inbred, which in this case, they probably do have deleterious genes. They probably do have some funky stuff going on genetically. Um, so that seems to be a thing. People find that their fish kind of die on them. I don't know what to say. That's quite sad, isn't it? But the thing is, they act happy and healthy. I saw them burrowing their little faces in the sand this morning at the crack of dawn. In the fish tank world, the crack of dawn. Dawn hasn't even happened here yet. But yeah, they're doing their fishy behaviours. They're acting normally. They seem happy and healthy, except for the fact that they're dying. um, but it just seems to be so sudden. Um, I don't know. yeah, if you guys have any similar experiences, please do share. You know, it all helps. This is an ever growing community, and this is, instead of me supplying answers, this is me asking a question. Why are my fish dying? Because I think I'm doing everything right, but obviously, with rose tinted glasses, I might not be seeing the whole picture. Um, I don't know. So, if you've got similar experiences, please do share them, because it's not just me having this problem. This I've looked online, and other people seem to be having this issue of Panda Corydoras in particular just Thanosing. I've not actually seen that film. Just I'll make references anyway. Um, but yeah, there you have it. Another sad episode, but life goes on. We have a lot of babies in the tank. Um, so the circle of life continues. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye.